Hello everyone, I hope you all are doing great. I'm back again with another video on H4 and I'm quite late this time because of some work and I was also quite engaged and worried about my H4 and H4 EAD extension which just happened recently and was scheduled for 2023. So I thought let's have this visa get extended and then I will make a video. So here I am, and before I start I would like to introduce myself that my name is Rashmi Bes and I am not an immigration specialist or any kind of consultant. Whatever I'm sharing on my video is just out of my personal and surrounding experience related to H4 H4 itself. So let's start with it. So I would like to mention that I'm not going through a detailed process of H4 extension or EAD extension because most of you might be aware about the EAD extension if you are already in USA and if you have done this process. But for the new timers, I would like to inform that this visa is specifically about H4 and H4 EAD extension that needs to be applied with H1 premium processing, H1 premium extension, so it's more extending your H1 and H4 rather than first time H1 stamping or an experience related to that. So if you are in the same phase, I think you should watch the video to the end, so you'll get to know what is the status in 2023 and what are the hurdles or the flaws in this process. So yeah, let's go through it. So my H4 EAD was about to get expired um, on September 20th 2023 because H1 is also, my husband's H1 is also valid till September 2023. So basically whenever your extension comes up, you can plan like around 6 months ahead of it, the processing you can start around 6 months ahead of it. So that's what we thought about, but because the client lawyer was quite busy in some other process, or he had some other tasks to be fulfilled, we started this process around May end or June first week. And for this process, yes, the lawyer was involved because we got to know that there is some premium kind of facility available for H4 EAD extension, H4 extension as well. So if we want to do that, we have to bundle all the documents together for H1 extension, for H4 extension, as well as H4 EAD extension. So these three documents needs to be bundled up together with the help of employer or the lawyer that is basically helping in this process. And then there are chances that we get our H4 H4 EAD extended within short span of time. So I would like to tell you guys that whoever is having misconception that H4 H4 EAD extension is now available in premium processing, so that's just misinformation out there. So clearly it is just a settlement between, I think, DHS and some of the lawyer groups. I will add up the link in description as well. But for your kind knowledge that this is a premium processing has started like in 2022 or 2023 for H4 H4 extension. So it's not true. It is just a settlement without predictability or without a prediction that how long it's going to stay. But for now, if you are applying for extension, there are chances, if all the documents are accurate, you will get the extension within a month if everything goes well and there is nothing left behind, and again, if only it is bundled up with H1 extension document. So let's go to another step that we followed. Yeah, so our lawyer started the processing, he started gathering all the information around May end, last week of May. Then there were so many back and forth just to get him all the details. Then he started looking into the past information because first he had to apply for LCA for my husband, like the LCA, proper labor certification, right? That we are not occupying anyone else's opportunity here in our location, right? So we had to do that, and after that we had to wait for LCA approval, and then we had to go for the proper H1 and H4 extension process together. So he applied for LCA, I think in June first week. We waited for around 7 to 8 days. Around, I think, 10th of June, I think nearly 10th of June, we got our LCA approved. Then he started gathering all the documents from us. He filed the documents that he asked us. Basically he filled out the documents with his team, and then he asked us to cross check. There were so many back and forth between us and his team because a lot of misinformation was added there because of some change in information, like our passports are changed recently. So we had to cross verify all the documents twice, thrice, and we had to inform him that please change the information in all the documentation, and then only we will proceed with the submission, or will you should I mean he should send it out to the USCIS. Okay, so basically I will add a uscis.gov link down in the description, where you will find all the necessities that you need for H4 H4 EAD extension. You will find what are the essential document you have to file while when you send out this kind of EAD extension related things to USCIS basically. So this time I was not filing directly, although earlier I have filed all the documents myself, so I had personal experience, and which was very easy. But this time it was elongated experience, because lawyer was not aware about my information. Mostly he was filing H1. He was not aware about my H4 related information. So basically he filled out some information, I cross verified, but still the documents were same. So I will mention what are the documents he filed. He asked us to recorrect was one I-765, which is mostly the H4 EAD documentation. You have to mention the category there, C26, and all the details. Once you read it out through, you will get to know what details you have to put. So I would mention the two things you have to clearly put out. One, your I-94 details. It comes up with the passport detail. Make sure whatever passport you used while traveling out of the country and come back, you have to put that passport number in I-94 detail. And in this same form I-765, they will ask for the category of the CAD. So for H4, the category is C26. So make sure you add these two things very properly. And if your passport is changed in between after you travel to this country, make sure your recent passport information is also added. Yeah, so another form is I-539, which is basically H4 extension. For sure, your H4 EAD will get extended with H4 only. So both are different documents, but you have to bundle up together, because it's not going to be like H4 as getting filed differently. So in this process, basically in my criteria or in my process, what we did is H1 extension, H4 extension, H4 EAD extension, we filed together and bundled them up. Now we provided all these documents to our lawyer nearly in between middle of June, and then because my EAD was about to expire and I had to inform my company or the client, my employer about this, that my extension is in process and we are going to get the approval soon. So it was more important for me than my husband, because he was not in a stage where his job is going to get out of his hand. But I was in that basically situation where I might lose my position from XYZ client I'm working for. So basically what happened, I think nearly mid of June or end of June, our lawyer applied all these documents together, bundling them up in one package. The H1, H4, H4 EAD documents, he sent it out. We made sure everything was accurate with all the supporting documents like our passport copies, existing EAD, I-94 detail, the passport photos and everything. Okay, then he sent it out. So as soon as they sent out receival notice on H1. My husband got receival notice, but I didn't get any kind of receipt or a notice from them. So basically it was more that the premium processing was going smooth for H1, but because for H4 and H4 EAD it is just a settlement, probably because of that I didn't get any notice. So he got the notice. I was still waiting for any kind of notice that they have received my document, and then in 15 days my husband got to know his H1 is approved without any queries or RFEs. Now my worry got over me, that I started panicking because I had limited duration. My EAD was about to expire on August 20th because my passport was up to August 20th. So my I-94 was up to August 20th only. So now I got stuck. I think on July 15th nearly he got to know his H1 is approved. But that time I had no idea if my H4 is approved, or I have some kind of possibilities to get my EAD extended this year. So basically I started planning for another kind of possibilities, or plan B. I started looking for plan B, which I never thought earlier. But I think that was my biggest mistake, that I started thinking about it later. So I think in 2 days, around I think mid of July, but 20th of July nearly, I got to know that my notice that they received my documents, we got in the mailbox. So that notice I received. So I thought, okay, at least they started processing. Now, because I got the notice for EAD as well, I had chances to work, but for that, I was looking, I mean, I need that I-94, valid I-94, as well as either of them, valid I-94 or valid I-797, and then EAD receipt. So, for all of you guys who don't know, that nowadays, like, if you have the receipt that USCIS have, like, all your document is even applicable, or is even helpful for you guys to start working if you have valid I-94 or valid I-797, which is H4 basically. So you can, like, uh, think that the receipt that you have for H4 EAD will work as a EAD only until you get your, like, EAD card in hand. But in my process, what happened is, like, I received this kind of notice nearly, I think, July 20th, and then my visa was about to expire on August 20th, right? So I had around 1 month of time. So I was panicking because my employer was pushing me and asking me, when are you going to do I-9 review? Your visa is expiring. We cannot hold you longer at the client place, because this is going to be illegal. Like, if you still keep working with us after, like, your EAD expiration. So I got worried and I started looking for other options. So one option I found was going to India and get the I-94, like, that is like visa stamping, and come back. But there was, I think, some backlog, or, like, I think some waiting period was there for even Dropbox in India. And then I thought it is going to be expensive, and because a lot of people mentioned that H4 is now in premium, I thought, like, why to go to India. But second option, I found that Mexico is the nearest option, and Mexico is allowing the extension of visas, which is gonna nearly take a week. So I found that option very easy. In this thinking process, I lost around 5 days. So what I thought, okay, let's go for Mexico. And I thought, okay, the day I thought to take a decision was Friday, and I said, okay, from Monday, from Monday itself, I'm gonna start working on DS 160 form for USCIS in Mexico, and I'll go to Mexico and I'll get it approved. Yeah, so I chose Mexico to be the next option and started preparing for that. But while I was waiting over the weekend, like, I think I waited till Monday. On Monday evening, I don't know what was holding me to submit the documents and, like, apply for the new DS 160. In evening, I just open up, like, the USCIS account, where I was constantly checking the status. I got to know that we have the approval notice, and I think Tuesday morning, my husband got a message that, like, there are some changes to my current H4 and H4 EAD application. When I opened the account, I got to know that I have it approved, but it's gonna take around 1 to 2 weeks to get the EAD and H4 approval notice at home. And then the complete plan change happened, because I got, like, a notification that my status is changed. I thought, let's wait for, like, 1 more week, although I have very limited time. Like, I think I had around 20 days left to get my EAD expired. I thought, let's have patience and wait for EAD card, or at least, like, this approval notice, or I-797, whatever the approval notice they send. And then I hold patience. I inform my employer in between that already the application is updated online. I need some time, and I will get back to you guys with the I-9 review process ASAP. So this is what happened, like, which was very immediate, very last moment. I would say this is all because of some confusion regarding the H4 EAD premium processing. But again, I'm repeating this, that there is no premium processing yet applicable or available for H4 EAD extension. Whatever is available is only for H1 still. This is just a settlement which is short term, and again, it has some kind of conditions applied, that your application should be bundled up with H1 premium processing, and then it should be accurate, and it is not applied for, like, the separate submissions. So, and again, I will add up a link from Reddy and Newman, and there is one other law firm below in the description, which will help you to get an idea which are those kind of, like, the approvals that are coming up, like, quick, or getting, like, for getting H4 EAD, like, early extensions. And don't get confused or don't rely on this with just one plan. I would suggest have your plan B and C in hand. Even be ready to go out of the country and come back in case you need I-94 approved, because we cannot completely rely on this premium thing that is roaming around for H4 extension. Mostly, like I would say, it was last moment for me, but for a lot of people, they are still waiting for 2 to 3 months, even 6 months for their H4 extension, even if they have applied with H1 premium, even though they went through the same process that this law firm has mentioned. Like they bundled up all the documents, still they are waiting for so many months. Because I went through so many blogs on Google and found there are many people who are still waiting for their approvals, and they lost their jobs. So I would request you guys to although follow the process along with the H1 premium processing, but still have plan B. Either go to Mexico if you have at least approval notice, or if you have your husband's approval, go outside, get your visa updated, come back, use that I-94 and approved I-94 and the receipt of EAD, and start working again. Don't wait till last minute. It's a lot of panic for you. And then it's a, I know it's a lot of back and forth process, but still we have to go through it. There is no other option unless you move out to other process, or until you have the green card approved. So anyways, I hope you guys will get some help out of it. If you have any questions, please add up your questions in comment. I'll be happy to help you guys, and thank you so much. Have a good one.